I haven't come up with an intro for this video, so I'll let Pokeart take over for it.
This is just in. Local YouTuber Mikoi Tonsinko12 has run out of ideas for intros. He does not resort to improv, but rather he just tells us outright. In other news, BLT Week 4 happened.
Hey everyone, this is Mikoi welcoming you back to another episode of the BLT9 podcast. I am here with the local news anchor.
Poker 2004, and please, I don't want to be that when I grow up.
Maybe someday. Alright, last time we covered week 4 or week 3 recap and did week 4 predictions. This time we're gonna do week 4 recap and week 5 predictions. Gotta stay consistent, y'all. Of course, as always, don't take our opinion seriously. This is all just for fun, so.
Yeah, and don't expect anything too good or smart out of it either, because I see people be like, our analysis sucks. Well, yeah, it's not really supposed to be great.
Yeah, it's just us shooting and giving our own thoughts on what's happened, and let me know what you thought down in the comments below. We're trying to be civil community here. Alright, so this week, I say that this is probably a hot take, but I'm not a fan of this week personally. There have been a couple of good matches, but there are just some real stinkers of matches.
I think I already get the feeling of what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll note out the obvious examples of that. You know which matches I'm talking about. So, let's start off the week, shall we? First off, we got the Ruin Valley Roserades tying the Dressrosa Dracovishes. Kind of interesting to see both tying, considering they are, one is the number 4 seed and one is on the bottom 4.
Yeah, and they had previously lost, like, each week prior.
So, interesting to see that. And people have noted that this matchup is even, which I'm a bit iffy on, but let's see, and it's a good thing because they tied the week. So, here we go. First match, 7U992, beating Crucify, sorry, messing up my own words.
Can't tie in a tour battle, Mikoi.
First match, 7U992 defeating Crucify. This one was a classic case of 7U992 being an Uber's main and proving once and all why Uber's mains are not to mess around with. This was a pretty...
Not to be messed around with.
Yeah. So this match, Crucify brought a pretty hyper offensive team. It had 2 Sash users, being Aerodactyl and Weavile, and also bringing Power Herb Eternatus, which was used to take out Ho. So that was.
Allow me to summarize this in like one sentence. A short Ubers game. Wow, never seen that before.
Yeah, because Marshadow was the MVP of this game, low kicking Yveltal and sorely being kept as the revenge killer that even Dragon Dance weakness policy Necrozma couldn't handle.
Well, yeah, because it was Shadow Sneaking.
Yeah, Shadow Sneak definitely killed Necrozma there, and in the end, 7U992 continuing his impressive momentum in Uber so far.
Yes, it killed a very chipped Necrozma, one that was on about a fourth of its health.
Yes, and 7U992 continues to roll in Ubers with an impressive record so far.
What is it so far?
3-1.
Wow, same as Udon Girl.
Only lost to Michael their best, and even that game, 7U992 did impress by taking it to Michael.
Yes, despite being 6-0'd.
Yep. Next up, SSOU, we got Los Gono Shoto losing to Zern. So, this game.
Los Gono Shoto? Shuto, Mikoi.
Shuto, right. Los Gono Shuto losing to Zern. Zern brought classic rain offense, and it was used pretty
Wasn't
great.
there a lot of rain this week?
There is a lot of rain, and this one was the first of those. There, as you can see,
I tell you, there could have been more if our series didn't end so early.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Zern brought Pelipper, Volcanion, Barraskewda, and Seismitoad, along with Ferrothorn and Zapdos, so classic rain. There was a Steam Eruption crit on the Slowking Galar, which was pretty unlucky.
I'm not sure if it mattered. It might have, but
it was in
that
rain.
would have still done a frick ton.
It was in rain, and I assume it was Specs, so maybe.
Well, yeah, so it would have done a frick ton. I don't know if that was Assault Vest or not, though.
Yeah. There was a pretty notable highlight of the game, which kind of mattered towards the end. It was the hard switch in on the Corviknight onto the sweeping Seismitoad under Swift Swim, which prevented Loscono from removing the hazards and pretty much just gaining advantage over Zern, who dominated the rest of the game. So, what tells you that Rain offense is has really never lost a step in OU.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that there's no Sun offense.
Yeah. Next up, Kyotoshi versus Clean. Uh, this one had interesting sets. Both players going into this were, I think 1 and 2 going into this. Pretty middling considering who these people are and how good their OU is. So, moments in.
Yes, how good their OU is. Although I think Keo has no wins so far.
He has won once.
Okay, right. Blittius. He won versus Blittius, right?
Moments from this match. Victini having an encore set was interesting. It really didn't get to do much though.
Yeah, what was up with that? What was that for exactly?
I guess it's for Ferrothorn, but Ferrothorn can easily die to V-Create. Maybe Lando. Or maybe Clefable. I don't know. Did its job.
I want to say possibly Sword Stance Scar Jump?
Maybe.
I don't even know.
Maybe. I don't know. Speaking of Clefable.
Maybe just Stealth Rockers?
Yeah, like Clefable or Heatran or the like. Interesting to note that both Clefables.
Or even Stealth Rock Garchomp / Lando.
Yeah. Both Clefables did lose due to luck, with Kyo's losing to a crucial crit on turn 31, and Clean's Clef losing a Para on turn 48. That was interesting to note. The rest of the game, though, was pretty played straightforward, with Clean picking up the W by keeping his cart in check against Tornadus and Landorus. So that was good. Nice win for Clean. Still, Kyotoshi being 1-3, never could have foreseen that.
Yeah.
Next up, Plaz versus Dugza. This was an unexpected curb stomp, I guess you would say. For being such a highlight match, this went very anticlimactic.
Oof.
Plaz went for.
I don't remember what happened here. What happened?
So Plaz went for a more hyper-offensive approach, with a lot of his mons being set-up sweepers and only Grimmsnarl being his support. Roar Salamence actually became a big issue to Plaz, because it was able to roar away both Shell Smash Barbaracle and Nasty Plot Slowbro, which I'll show you.
Oh yeah, that was the Roar thing.
Yeah,
right.
Roar Salamence was definitely one of the biggest issues, and pretty much the only taking care of Shell Smash Sweepers, or like Barbaracle, or Nasty Plot like Slowbro. So pretty interesting there to see what happened with Salamence there.
Oh yeah, Plaz used Screen's offense, right?
Yeah, he had Grimmsnarl up.
Basically cheese.
Mm-hmm. Chansey also got some spotlight as well, able to tank Celesteela well, and even having Thunder Wave for Barbarical, preventing it from really sweeping the rest of Doug's game. And yeah, Dougsa ended up won the game and outright.
Let me just say though, having Thunderwave Chansey and Roar Salamence, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Dougsa knew. I think Dougsa knew that for hyper offense teams like this, you needed to have some pretty good options. And Roar.
No, I don't think that's the point. I think he might have known Plaz was gonna bring it.
Okay. That's another way I would have put it, but okay. Alright, next up, Revenge Killer beating Zeo Trip. This was a fairly even RU game, I would say. Um, Incineroar brought Overheat, which was neat. It was able to chip the Steelix.
It's actually not that uncommon. I've seen it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've actually used it too.
It was able to chip the Steelix so that Weezing can safely kill it with Rocky Helmet, which was nice. Uh, the overall structure of the game's pacing was a bit slow towards the beginning, but it really picked up by the 60th turn. And by the 60th turn, they were claiming just kills left, right, and center, which was nice.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So yeah, end of the game saw Revenge Killer had, I believe it was 3 Mons against Zeo's 2. It was Crobat and Milotic on Zeo side, and I believe, yeah, it was Nidoking, Togekiss, and Suicune on Revenge Killer side. It was a very even game. I'm impressed that Zeo was able to hang on to Revenge Killer because Revenge Killer is really goddamn good. No one has been able to match up to Revenge Killer, but Zeo put up a hell of a fight.
I feel that's an overstatement.
Really?
But point is, Revenge Killer it seems to be solid.
Yeah, very goated, and I can't wait to see Revenge Killer more in the tour, even though he's not in this week's lineup. Next up, Anarcheus versus GXC and NU. This one is one of the. This one, okay. I talk about games that failed to live up to the hype. The highlight match being anticlimactic. Plas versus Dugsa from earlier is a good example. This game actually lived up to the hype between two very goated players, a highlight match, and it ended up being one of the better games from this week.
Man, I need to watch that then.
So yeah, both sides actually had a pretty strong start, with GXC playing the more aggressive approach, as you can see here. He was trying to basically catch a focus blast onto, I guess, Copper Raja, and then having Mudsdale around, trying to basically call the switch-ins. For example, trying to hit that focus blast, hitting the toxic spikes on the Dragalge. So he played very aggressively. Meanwhile, Anarcheus actually played more tactically, getting off the rapid spins from the Eldegoss, having Garbodor get rid of the toxic spikes. So yeah, it was a very tactical game from Anarcheus. Dragalge was the highlight. What was a highlight? Being able to both crit the Draco on Jellicent and kill off the Eldegoss, which Anarcheus really kind of needed because Rapid Spin plus Rapid Spin blocker was sorely cut from that. Sylvanite Ground was able to sweep most of GXC's team, but it did miss a Rock Slide against Braviary, which was unfortunate. The end game, complete chess game, with Anarchist trying to position GXC's Escavalier to get low without having to rest. So basically, he had well, it was, 70 or 80 turns later, I believe?
Jesus! Now I know this is a long game.
There's the Rock Slide miss on turn 70. That was funny. So, yeah. Anarchist tried to play the long game here with Escavalier basically rest talking, Meanwhile, GXC is trying to position itself so that it can do basic good damage with Mega Horn and knockoff. So yeah, a very chess gamey like ending, but it was a fantastic.
So kind of like Room Sit B versus 7U9I2 with the Xerneas Zekrom thing.
Yeah, basically like that. But yeah, highly recommend.
Except that had a bit of a weird ending to it.
Yes, yeah. This one was played straight. I definitely would recommend checking this out. Anarchist versus GXC having a highlight match that actually lived up to the hype and actually was a highlight of this week. So well done to both for having a strong performance.
Noted.
Next up, we have Lady Rider beating Pidgeot Mega. Lady Rider continues to impress in PU. And again, prefacing this, PU just having the best games. Seriously. People crap on it like it's the lowest, like the worst tier, but in BLT it has the best games. This one was no exception. Pi got to a very advantageous start, having to paralyze Eldegoss, getting away with the Paraz, and even mistricking a Rabambi, which Lady Rider actually brought Trick Rabambi?
Yeah, Trick Choice Specs Rabambi.
That was neat. That was pretty interesting, I would say. But yeah, Pi kind of had a pretty good start there, but Lady Rider definitely picked up the pace by the middle, using Scorch to cripple Archeops, which was a massive threat in of Lady's team.
And then Pi used the Togedemaru to cripple the Scorch.
Yeah, very much so. Aggron ended up being the MVP, able to take special hits, which I was kind of surprised of, especially not taking as much damage as I would like to hope from a Shift Tree's Leaf Storm.
Well, I don't think it was the most offensive Shift Tree. It was probably a mixed variant with Defog.
I guess.
I mean, it had Defog, so it was probably mixed. I don't recall if it had knockoff or not, but it was probably like more attack invested than special attack invested, if I had to guess.
But yeah, Aggron having Stealth Rock, Protect, Head Smash, and Body Press definitely defeated the rest of Tommy Iki's team by the end, and Lady Rider 3-0 in PU right now. Very impressive.
Bro, people don't know who Pidgeot Mega is. I keep seeing people calling him a rando.
Oh my god. When you fail to realize that Pidgeot Mega won a BLT with us. Alright. Next up. Kither versus Ace Hunter 1. Are we really that surprised that this had Kither winning?
Well, no.
Okay, so I noticed a pattern with Ace Hunter's team, and this has been for 3 straight weeks. I see Ace using pretty much a general structure to his team. So you got Diglett, you got Mienfoo, and you got Ponyard, and then...
Wow, I wonder... It's not like you see that every game.
Well, not every game, but just generally with Ace Hunter for 3. I mean... Diglett!
But freaking Mienfoo, Mikoi.
Mienfoo's everywhere. I get Mienfoo being everywhere, and Ponyard as well. Diglett, being paired with Diglett though, interesting choice.
Even Ponyard isn't quite everywhere. Like, usually you run only one steel type.
Or Dark for Abra. But I also carried Grookey and Coughing quite a bit, and the only real change is Frillish. But yeah, Ace Hunter has a general structure, which I think he needs to change up a bit. Although
He needs to do what X Skelly did versus Ace Hunter. Wait.
Shh, don't reveal strats. Although fair play to Ace Hunter, he actually played better with this team than he did for 3 weeks before, because he got Kither to miss HJK, high jump kick from his Mienfoo, and even stole Natu's Eviolite with Coughing's Thief. which was pretty nice. I guess we also gotta expect special Diglett from now on because Kither brought Sludge Bomb Substitute, Earth Power, and something else.
He wouldn't be the first.
Yeah.
In fact, he might be the third or the second.
Like again, we gotta expect special Diglett now. And yeah, there was nothing really much else to note. This was a pretty solid LC game. Predictable ending, but still solid in terms of gameplay. Next up, SMB versus Z-Strats, the number 1 versus number 2 of DOU. Another certified highlight match. This one well, kind of underwhelmed me, especially to the level that both players are on. But given that the team builds that they brought, I really could have expected everything better. Game started off pretty nicely though with a nice trick play against Incineroar.
I wasn't a big fan of that play.
Really?
Because then the Feeny on the other side starts setting up.
Yeah. It set up the, Calm Mind?
It would have been great if he tricked the Feeny.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been epic.
You're right. Metagross was also, kind of wildly used for the majority of this game. It was protecting a bit, it was doing stomping tantrums, a bunch, and yeah, it only really managed to get one successful kill on, I believe Lego, but it was played around by SMB for the majority of this game. So
it was Shukaberry though. That was interesting.
It was interesting. Towards the end of the game, Z was trying to outpredict SMB with Ally Switch and Encore by the last turn, but SMB knew and ended up
encoring him. Yes.
Yeah, encoring him instead with Whimsicott and being able to get rid of Shedinja with Flamethrower and knock off the Chansey to win. Overall, interesting game. Not really the best. Because of the level of these two, I expected a higher standard play, but from the game that we got, it was alright. Next up, Kev versus Kaguya-Liss. This one, Kev brought the pretty dangerous fairy team, with an interesting Bulu set to go along with it. This was a substitute bulk up, Hornleech, and high horsepower Bulu.
Yeah, so it couldn't touch Celesteela.
Yeah, sorry. But, Kaguya-Liss brought Psychic, so, meh.
Oh, wait. I'm thinking of another game. My bad.
Yeah. Slow King Galar beating Tapu Fini was kind of a surprise. I thought Kev was gonna switch out once Fini was at half health or something, but he just stayed in and took the sludge bombs for Fini. I will note though that turn 28 was the freest turn imaginable because you got Bulu set up and Kaguya-Liss switched to Mew. Why'd you go for substitute? You could have gone for Hornleech or high horsepower on the Mew and killed it, but you just didn't. You just went for sub.
Was it in kill range?
I believe so. It was at +1 attack. And it was on grassy terrain.
But what was the Mew at?
63.
Debatable. It was clearly a bulky utility Mew, so I don't know.
That deals still a lot of damage. Clefable was in prime position to sweep. You set up the Calm Mind and it was behind light screen, which was nice. But V-Create crit the Clef at full, or not at full, at 90 to kill it, which was unfortunate on Kev's chances. Even a last-minute try with Bulu Sweep was ended because Victini was still alive to win the game. So yeah, unfortunate game for Kev, but a strong win by Cogulus.
Yes, I guess.
Next up, the Lavender Lapras is murdering the Majestic Milotics with a 7-2 win. Can you please stop murdering these teams, Laprases?
Our Lapras has good sets versus these Mons.
What did you do this time?
Specs Freeze Dry this week.
You did the same with the Draco Vicious, you dopes.
Yes. And the Swampert.
Can't forget that.
Freeze Dry hits a lot of things.
Can't forget that. First up, Aberforth. Curb stomping Atrax Madara. This was only 16 turns. Again, short Uber's game. Am I right, lads?
Yeah, I like short Uber's games. Those are the better Uber's games.
I mean, you're not wrong. I prefer my Uber's games to be adequately length. This one was just a curb stomp. I'll show you the whole game. It was Atrax Madara having a somewhat hyper-offensive team because it had Spectrier, Calyrex Shadow, I mean.
Somewhat?
Or hyper-offensive, period.
Literally Webs HO.
Okay, hyper-offensive, period, with webs, because that's Slurpuff.
It also had the weakness policy Necrozma.
No, that was Aberforth's.
What?
Atrax Madara didn't bring a Necrozma. What are you talking about? He brought Calyrex, Yveltal, Kyogre, Slurpuff, Marshadow, and Zygarde.
Dang, did I mix up another game? Who brought the weakness policy?
It was Crucify.
Yeah, right.
That's
who brought it.
So yeah, this game, Aberforth just had the game in the bag. There was no real tension between this game at all. Aberforth just really curb stomped Atrax. Didn't even need the webs. The webs did not matter because Aberforth kills you anyway. Next up, my Java versus Unzip's Kroger. This one was a boring game, to be quite honest.
Hey!
Again, bog standard OU shenanigans.
You weren't watching it live, and
I did watch this live.
Experiencing the intensity of like everyone talking in chat and like, oh, what's he gonna do here?
I wasn't worried at all.
If he makes this play, oh.
You guys are worried because you're teams. I'm not worried because I knew my Java was going to beat Kroger.
He almost didn't.
And I will note that. First of all,
the Weavile was very tough.
So, first off, you got Kroger's Buzz. Oh no, this was different game. Kroger early sacking his Heatran very early on, which was he kind of needed that because he had my Java had Buzzwole, had Weavile. Presumably, it had Earth Power to take out his own Heatran, and then Magma Storm to take out Ferrothorn. 2/3 of his Mons. Heatran was sorely needed.
Yeah, that was an odd play.
Turn 51, we saw a hilarious triple axle miss. But Weavile missing the triple axle onto the Buzzwole, close combating it, and dying. So yeah,
remind me.
So yeah, Kroger. Okay, so towards the end of the game, as Pokeart said, Kroger's Weavile did try to sweep with Swords Dance. And Ishard. Although I wouldn't attack personally against the already attacking Lando. Like, what were you expecting? U-turn? Would you live a U-turn? Really? So yeah, I wasn't worried at all. And towards the end of the game, my Java just ended up having the control of the match and ultimately won.
Are you forgetting the play that won the match?
What was the play?
A miraculous staying in on the Weavile.
What turn is that?
I don't know the number of the turn.
Let me actually check. Okay, let me actually check what turn is that. This is a long ass game. Slowbro. Okay, Slowbro did stay in on the Weavile towards the end. With Ice Shard because he was predicting a Lando switch in. Fortunately not.
Well, no.
Why?
He wasn't.
What was he? What was it? Okay, what was the plan?
He was predicting a Pharaoh switch in, and if he killed the Pharaoh at that range, I think he died too.
Okay, yes. After seeing the 7% on Ferrothorn, yeah, I can see that play. But yeah, my Java won.
He probably thought my Java would make the play of switching in Pharaoh to just chip the Weavile to death.
And fortunately,
but he didn't do it because he thought Kroger would probably think he was gonna do that.
Yeah. So in the end, my Java.
Moms really be like that sometimes.
Yep. Next up, Reginald defeating Spooky's defeating Reginald.
I don't want to talk about that.
So this game, Raji. Well, first he made a big oopsie in turn 5. It was Misty Terrain. Raji had set up the Misty Terrain. He went for Toxic. That was
You see, I don't want to talk about this game.
Why not? Because Raji lost. Or
kind of badly too. Yeah.
So yeah, him losing his Kartana was pretty he kind of needed that card to take care of every single mon here. He went for a Sacred Sword, maybe expecting a Pharaoh switch in. Unfortunately, this stayed in, got the switch. Urshifu got the close combat in and killed Kartana, which Raji kind of needed against everything else. And yeah, Spookies dominated the rest of the game. Nothing really much else to say. Next up. Next up, SSUU, we had Udon Girl beating Excello. So nothing really happened during the OU game, but the UU game actually had an eventful couple of turns. First off, we got these. What do I do? Let's do that. We got Specs Salamence killing the Hippowdon. Hippowdon.
The hip. Good. It's like calling Groudon Groudon.
Groudon. So Hippowdon lost to a Spec Salamence, which was okay. There was also the Draco Meteor miss, which I think I missed out on. Yeah, Hydreigon was going for a Draco Meteor, but missed the Nihilego, which was unfortunate. Funny Excadrill. There was a funny Excadrill sack with Excadrill trying to toxic something, I guess. But Slowbro stayed in and got the flamethrower and killed it. Why did Udon Girl go for that? I don't know. And a Power Whip miss on Zarude against Primarina. So Udon Girl was on the low. It was, I believe, 4 against 1. Yeah, after the Prim. Yeah, it was 4 against 1 against Conkeldurr. Which, first off, Udon Girl crit the Primarina with Facade, which I don't think it mattered.
It was a crit.
It was a crit. It was a crit. Turn 28. It was a crit, but I don't think it mattered. And then...
Well, I'll be the judge of that. I'll say there's no way that mattered. It was on 41. That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter at all. And then it kept doing...
However, I will mention this.
Okay.
Why was the Primarina slower?
I mean... I guess Udon Girl ran his conch elder faster?
No, she didn't.
Bruh. I don't know why.
This is not a speedy Conkelder. Why is the Primarina slower?
I don't know
this
why.
does not make sense.
I don't know why, but yeah.
This is like a minus speed Primarina. Why is it a minus speed Primarina?
I guess for extra tanking on the special side. I don't know.
That doesn't. Just take the freaking investment out of the attack, not the speed. What the hell?
I don't know why. You be the judge. But yeah, Conkelder...
No, I can't. I don't play this tier. I'm just confused.
So, Udon Girl ended up sweeping the rest of the game with Conkelder, having Mach Punch the Hydreigon, knocked off the Slowbro, and then ended up Drain Punching the Cobalion in order to end up winning. So yeah, funny game that one, and Udon Girl got the win.
You know, the Mach Punch was also a crit, actually.
That was a crit, and I don't think it mattered.
It could have. I did the calc.
What was the percentage?
It was a roll, although it was in our favor.
Okay. So again, you would have done that regardless. So
it probably didn't matter, but it could have.
All right. So yeah, next game we got Arsenine versus Splorsh in a pretty good RU game. Very even this one.
Surprisingly so, yes.
So Ars did have a disadvantage, I guess you would say at first, because he lost his Crobat early. He lost his Assault Vest on the Reuniclus, and even got burned by Rhyperior. His Rhyperior got burned. But he...
Imagine being concerned about that when you have a Healbell Umbreon.
Umbreon, yeah. But he still kept up the pace, though. Splorsh did kept missing the Toxics and getting critted. Had it not happened, he would have likely stood a chance against Arsenine. There was a really funny moment though where Weezing first missed a Strange Steam, then hit the next one, and even confused Reuniclus, and Reuniclus hurt itself with confusion and killed it.
That's one way to take care of it, I guess.
Funny moment that. And yeah, nothing much else to say. A pretty evenly contested game from both sides.
You're not going to say anything about the two swords right there?
What, Doublade? I mean, good choice. Yes. I mean, good choice for Arsenine to bring that, but can't say I was that surprised that Doublade would end up sweeping after Splorsh just had, Togekiss, a really chipped Togekiss, and a Celebi left?
And a Flygon?
Right. And did that Shadow Sneak as well?
And the Raikou?
Oh yeah, that was early into the game, not the ending.
Yeah, but still, killed the Raikou.
So yeah, Doublade ended up becoming the MVP. Congrats to Arsenine for bringing it and winning.
I'm pretty sure Doublade killed at least 4 Mons here.
Yeah, it did. It was just the Shadow Sneaker, and ended up winning the game. Zeri versus Luthier, that dead gamed, unfortunately, and unfortunate, but
that could have been a really interesting one had it happened.
Especially since you talked about Zeri's team.
Hey.
I will not elaborate on that, but it's very, as you would say it, very Zeri-like to build.
What? No, it wasn't. That was the point.
Okay. Next up, Tlanet versus Easy. This was the first game that happened in this week, and Tlanet Basically did the same that he did against Druid, only faster.
Yes, he literally did the same thing. He brought the same team.
He brought the same team and even did the first few turns of the same match from last week by sacking his Quagsire early against Jellicent. So,
well, couldn't really be helped.
Tyranid let his Audino get tricked with specs and yet still being able to play around with it really is a testament to how goated Tyranid is in PU. So, that was nice.
And I mean, look at this MU.
Hmm.
This is not an MU that Stahl wants to face down.
Yeah. So
as a Specs Jellicent, Stahl does not want to face a Specs Jellicent.
Exactly. So yeah, game went exactly as expected with from last week. It did have more options to play around this time. I think he had everything else barring Quagsire to play around with, aside from last week, which had only 3.
Yeah, that was like, oh boy.
The game ended though with a crit with Charizard against a Quiver Dancing Ribombee, but props to Easy for being able to keep up with the stall against Tyranid. So yeah, very commendable performance. Tyranid may have won, but giving props to Easy.
Well, I mean, look at his MU.
Yeah.
He's got the
Pretty good.
hyper. He's got like the more offensive build here. That's not really something Stahl wants to face down.
Yeah. Next up, X Skelly versus Tobias. This was pretty much standard LC affair, aside from one thing, and that one thing is one is Morlul, but the real highlight of this one is Special Carvana, which
Yeah, that was odd.
It was pretty unconventional, but you know what? I praise it because it was able to kill both Poniard and Coughing towards the early parts of this game.
No surprise for Coughing, but actually, no, neither of those are special things.
Because it was Life Orb as well, and neither really are known for special tanking. So yeah, the rest of the game, pretty standard LC affair with Tobias winning against Skelly. Nothing really much else to say. I mean, good for Tobias. He sorely needed a couple of wins because man's underrated in LC, let me just say.
Yeah, I can see that.
Next up, Actuarily versus Mamalu. This one's an interesting one. Well, it was pretty much decided on the first couple of turns, since he got Porygon with download special attack boost, killing the Zapdos with the Ice Beam. That pretty much sealed the deal for Mamalu because Actuarily was very much pressurizing Mamalu throughout the rest of the game. Even bringing he got the burn on Urshifu, but he got the dangerous Registeel set, which we've been harping on for so much.
Yes, Registeel. Don't we all love that?
Or as I like to call it, Registall, because truly it is big stall.
More like Reggie Sweep.
It and Rillaboom was able to take out Urshifu and Pelipper for the end of the game. So a very impressive performance by Actuarily to bring it and win. And next up we got Maroon versus Louisin. Very easy game for Maroon.
Yeah, I think so.
Because, okay. First off, Louisin sacked his Cloyster and his Ninetales pretty early on towards the game.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You need Ninetales. I get Cloyster because it was Rocky Helmet, but you need Ninetales to set up the hail and stuff like that so Arctozolt can easily sweep. Or not easily sweep, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The big thing though, Kyurem really was the most essential mon on Louisin's team because everything in Maroon's team pretty much dies to it if properly set up right. Because like this dies to freeze dry, this dies to an ice beam earth power because it was air balloon. This dies to a earth power. This dies to a freeze dry or an ice beam. This dies to earth power. This dies to earth power. So yeah, Kirim really should have been like the best mon here, but a crit hurt.
He played it weirdly.
He played it weirdly. He got the sub up after it was burned, and a crit hurricane happened as well that killed it. So yeah.
Was that a crit?
It was a crit.
Oh yeah, it was. Did that matter? I
don't know. I want to say no, but that was really unfortunate.
I don't know, it could have. Kirim is kind of bulky.
Yeah. Rest of the
Zapdos, I think, was Specs, so it's hard to say.
Maybe. Oh, it was Specs?
I think.
Well, if it was Specs, then I could see it killing him at that range. So yeah, the rest of the game, Maroon just basically outplayed him. Really predictable results.
Hold on, I can do the calculator going on.
So yeah, good, again, a murder from the Laprases, and if they lose during playoffs, which I will totally jinx you at,
Hey.
Alright. Next up, we got the Jubilife Jirachis beating the Sunny Shore Snorlaxes. A pretty interesting result, considering that the Snorlaxes were number 2 and Jirachis are number 3 right now in terms of the rankings. So interesting to see this. First up, we got Miminger beating Panurakota. An interesting game, this one. First off, Panu, you brought a pretty what the F team. What the F kind of team is this? You got Shedinja, and then you got Clefable and Toxapex? Really? What kind of team is...
Well, you see, he's just following Rimsip's advice of using a Shedinja.
I guess so. After 41 turns of pretty standard Ubers affair, Panu had a pretty oops moment. It was right around here where Necrozma got burned. That was unfortunate, and if he had Heal Bell or something, then maybe this would be wear off, but unfortunately I don't think he did, and yeah, Miminger controlled the game from that point on, with Landorus sweeping at the end. Yeah, unfortunate loss there by Panu, especially since he was on the roll from beating Michael Derbest in Ubers. So, shocking to see him lose to Miminger, but you know what? Miminger is good in Ubers, so don't count him out. Also, Landers managed to avoid a burn by Toxapex and EQing the rest of his mons with a sneaky little Toxic on Shedinja for good measure. So yeah, that was a good one. Have you got the calcs ready?
If the Zapdos was not Specs, then it did matter. If it wasn't Specs, I mean, if the Zapdos was not Specs, the crit did matter. Okay. If it was Specs, it didn't.
Alright, cool. That's very cool. Next up, Zen versus Stareel. Stareel's, this was a weird game. First of all, Stareel had Body Press to take out Ferrothorn. I feel like you could have done it without the other Mon here, but Corviknight Body Press, I guess.
What Mon are you talking about?
Stareel's Corviknight. It tried to Body Press Pharaoh. Instead of, I don't know, Volcarona? Anyway, this was the game I was talking about with the nice predict. So Buzzwole, I believe this was Bandit Buzzwole, it predicted the Earthquake play on the Toxapex, allowing it to... Well, Toxapex still lived, but and it was able to switch out due to eject button, but still, very nice play there. And then we come to the big one. Volcarona against Dragonite. Remember this part, Pokert?
Oh no.
So, the Dragonite. Well, let me... Okay, right here. The
Volcarona used flamethrower, and then the Dragonite.
Alright, so first off, you got Quiver Dance substitute Volcarona. It used flamethrower on the Dragonite. Dragonite got burned. And then it used Waterfall. Interesting.
I am not sure what Waterfall was for exactly.
I guess it's for, again, as you said, Volcarona. Maybe Lando? Or
Landos. You don't need Waterfall for Volcarona.
Yeah, because you have dual wing beat, but interesting that you brought that. So, it also had Heal Bell. Again, what is this Dragonite set? I really want to know. So yeah.
I like the simpler days when people would just run the D-Dance Dragonite and that's
it. They want to be creative with their Dragonite sets now. Dragonite tried to do Waterfall again, and it got flame bodied. And this one, Zen wasn't able to heal off the burn, and it died. And Volcarona ended up sweeping the rest of the game. So yeah.
Yep.
Weird game, that one. Next up, another game that actually lived up to the hype. TDNT versus Star Master. Although there were a couple of bro moments in this matchup. The first bro moment is at the first turn. Clefable bringing Ice Beam and not Moonblast.
I don't think that's a bra moment. That's basically your certified, haha, Lando, you can't earthquake me without getting severely punished.
But still, 4 times weakness versus a stab move. Which one is better?
I don't know Calcit in this case. That Garchomp was really bulky, okay?
Yeah, that was pretty bulky,
The Ice Beam did less than half. And I'm gonna guess that Clefable did not have much of any special attack investment. It did that little.
Or Garchomp just had really high special defense investment, so he was able to take that hit.
I'm gonna say both.
Yeah. Lele's Future Sight. Lele brought Future Sight. And was actually proven to be pretty useful because it...
That's been a thing lately.
Really?
There's been some BLT games where that's been brought.
Oh yeah. It has been known. It is pretty good, I would say. Especially here against Slowking, which it was able to get the Slowking off the field and kill it. That was good. And towards the end of the game, Urshifu just kind of swept the rest of the game. It felt way too short, but the game was good. So I'd say this one lived up to the hype.
Yeah, kind of.
Next up, and this one, Pokérod can easily flame me on this one. Elfusion versus Excelsior.
I told you he would win.
Excelsior won. Okay. Well, I can kind of see Excelsior winning because I feel like his his UU game is strong. I would say it's even stronger than his LC game right now.
Debatable, but okay.
And Elfusion wasn't holding back as well. Well, I watched this match 3 times, and I still couldn't find any notes, because this was just a pretty even back and forth UU game. Yeah, Excel managed to maneuver...
Isn't that your notes right there?
Yeah, but I can't really find anything on Elfusion versus Excelsior, because I was just sitting there going, what do I note here? This was just a good game between both players.
Wow, they keep trading kills. They keep dropping mons one after the other.
Yeah, this was just a good, simple back and forth UU game. Excel managed to win with the Scizor, but the rest of the game was so well played by both individuals that I can't really destroy roast both of them. This is a good game. Next.
Yes, just a plain good game. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want for BLT in the future. Just good games, not crap. What is crap is Gorex versus Maki.
Oof.
Because
what a transition.
Turn 1. Gastrodon did Ice Beam onto the Reuniclus. The Reuniclus froze. I could literally just end that sentence now, and that would have been the game.
Oof.
But yeah, this game was bad, for lack of a better term, bad. Yeah, Incineroar was the most useful member of Maki's team, being able to kill half of Gorix's whole team with that offensive Incineroar set that has been popping off lately, and I would say good on ya. Incineroar definitely deserves the offensive set that it has. So, yes, Suicune tried to be useful in the late game with this Calm Mind substitute set, but Crobat just kept chipping it with Infiltrator, and it really was too chipped to really sweep, as it had to go up against Rotom-Mow and Gastrodon, which breaks Suicune entirely.
Those are two things you don't really want to face down.
So, yeah, a really awkward game from both individuals, and I'm glad Maki got the win, but still, awkward game, this one.
Yeah, I think I predicted Maki to win this.
I think I also did Maki, so, yeah. Next up, GW versus Phantom Sticks. Alright, and you main PokeArt?
Please, no, I haven't really played the tier well, let me rephrase. I haven't built for the tier in since
qualifiers.
Flygon Bronzong era.
So, the first couple of turns were very standard NU affair. Scarf Passimian killing Articuno and Rotom tricking Caparaja into Scarf, only to be sacked instead by Heat Crash were particular highlights. But the real highlight of this match was Drampa using a pretty dang good for PU but not for NU kind of set with Hyper Voice, Calm Mind, and Flamethrower, which basically tried to kill everything like Indeedee, Escavalier, the rest of the like.
Why is that not good for NU?
Well, no. What I mean is not common. Not common because it's normal for PU. By God. I've seen people sweep with Drampa more times than I can count. But not necessarily brought a lot to NU, but still. Good for GW.
Do you mean the specific Drampa set? Because I've been seeing some Drampa in NU.
Really? Alright. It's PUBL right now, I think, so I guess that's fair.
Oh. Then Mikoy, you shouldn't be seeing any more Drampa in PU.
Well, not now, but back then I used to see a lot of Drampa. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Next up, Ninja versus Avarice. I like this game quite a bit because Avarice brought a really niche PU team, very niche than the ones he brought weeks before, because it had Sunny Day Charizard and with a Quiver Dance Frostmoth.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this one was a pretty interesting game. The miss on Poltergeist sucked. Ninja went for Poltergeist and it missed. Sucks. So Frostmoth was able to kill Gorgeist, then Magneton, then cripple the Regirock. And then, yeah, Lycanroc ended up sweeping the rest of this game thanks to Swords Dance, giving the Stone Edge on the Wishy-Washy, and Stone Edging and critting the Garbodor to be able to pick up the win.
The Garbodor thing probably didn't matter, though.
Yeah. So yeah, good win for Avarice and Ninja. Unfortunate loss. Next up, big surprise this one. Taz versus Raj Dot Shoot. This game, I haven't really much anything to note except for one, which was I was really surprised to see Raj's Diglett do well and did as much work as it did. It was able to stand up to Porygon's tri-attacks very, very well, might I add. And even it was able to kill Mifu pretty easily as well. And it especially beat Grookey with Beat Up plus Sucker Punch. Like right there. That's a good Diglett. Diglett did a lot of things. And by the end, Taz forfeited by the end because he knew he couldn't win against the rest of Raj's team. Ultimately forfeited. So yeah, Raj continues to upset big name LC players. Right?
Yeah.
First beating McCav.
Name another.
McCav, Serene Grace, and now Taz.
Good on him. I don't remember any of those games because I probably wasn't even there for some of those.
Alright. You were there for Raj versus Serene Grace, though. That was a good match. Next up, Crunchman versus Jonas, the last game that was played for this week. And by last game, I mean totally should not have counted because it was 40 minutes past the original deadline. Lol.
They don't know that.
Well, it has been a week now, PokeArt, so I am free to talk about it.
It hasn't been a week. It's only been a few days.
Yeah, right. So, this game, Jonas brought Coaching Zeraora to partner up against Kyurem Black. Good idea in theory, but you're standing across the ring with an already ready to sweep Genesect. This Genesect was dangerous. Because for once it did it crit the Amoongus? Yeah, it did crit the Amoongus. It was at +2, and it was, I believe, Life Orb. Yeah. So I don't think it mattered personally, but yeah, Amoongus dying, and then later in the match, Kyurem Black also dying, thanks to the Follow Me Blastoise, followed by the Ironhead Oko to Kyurem, which basically sealed the deal for Crunchman to win. So yeah, good match there. Very short, but...
And Jonas forfeit.
Yeah, good match. Short, but sweet. Next up, we got Attribute defeating John Filch.
Now, this is the one with the Celesteela.
This one. So, odd first turn by John Filch. It tried to Thunderbolt a Landorus. Maybe it was expecting a switch?
Perhaps.
Yeah, odd first turn there. Okay, this was the game that I was thinking about, with Corviknight trying to Ironhead flinch 3 Mons in particular. It was the Clefable, then I believe the Klefki also did one, or probably not. It was Tapu Bulu, and then the Azumarill, which took the most of the brunt of the Corviknight Ironhead Assault.
Yeah, there were some really unfortunate flinches here.
Yeah. So, and as you mentioned, the Celesteela ended up sweeping because it had a Totemize, and then it kept sweeping the rest of the game. A very, very good display by Attribute. Commendable efforts by John Filch, but it was pretty clear Attribute was going to win. And finally, for at least this lineup, we got the Santaloon Swampers finally winning a week over the Salacian Solgaleos. We finally got one, boys.
Wow.
It took us 4 weeks, but we finally did it. And now the game starts. First up, FC defeating Rim Sickby. Interesting game, this one. Both Uber's mains definitely brought this to the table. A strong Groudon start at the beginning with Rim Sickby having Swords Dance and Heat Crash. Didn't even kill the Lando, but it was a pretty dang strong start. Getting the Rock Tomb off and killing it, though, okay. And then in comes the Calyrex Shadow, who brought the Substitute Leech Seed Astral Barrage set, which
that's a neat set.
Which was
seen it a bit.
Yeah, it was. I have seen this quite a lot in Ubers, and this one is actually like really good. Both of them. Calyrex was able to basically stall out the rest of Rim Sickby's team and was able to. This goes for a while, but good job for him on this one. Zekrom missing a Bolt Strike later was pretty unfortunate. It was right around here, I believe. So yeah, Zekrom missing a Bolt Strike against the Yveltal was pretty unfortunate. Then they switched over to Rayquaza, which had a pretty interesting turn. Draco Meteor. It was a Draco Meteor Frenzy on turn 32. Crits the Zekrom in order to be killed, and then this killing itself. That befell both dragons on the same turn. In the end, Dragon Dance, Weakness Policy, not Weakness Policy, I think. It was, Leftovers, Necrozma. But yeah, that particular Necrozma set ended up taking the win for FC. A very, very good display by both individuals.
So, question. Was this a quick Ubers game?
If you want to count 40 or 50 turns of Ubers quick, then maybe.
You know what? That's quick for Ubers. I'll take it.
Okay. Next up, OU, TJ versus Airfare. Oh boy. Or as I like to call it, the biggest choke we've ever seen in OU lately. First part of this match. Lando tried to take out Clef with Earthquake. Either he was predicting a switch, or he could have just switched in Melmetal instead. Like, what the heck?
He was just trying to damage it.
What
do you mean?
It's a bulky Clef, and yes, it will keep healing.
It was still doing over a third. That's something.
Yeah, even got a lucky crit there. Airfare's Blacephalon had a mean streak going, because after some couple of turns later, Blacephalon came in and proceeded with its spec set, proceeded to just utterly annihilate and sweep. First taking out the Magnezone, and then the rest. And then, okay, it got off a lot. Tornadus got off a Toxic, which was neat, and preventing Blacephalon from truly ever sweeping, but it was still pretty neat to see. So, and now, this one we kind of debated over last night while we were watching these games again. So, Blacephalon versus Garchomp. Garchomp was down for a 4-1 deficit. Turn 36. Garchomp sets up a substitute, and Melmetal does Toxic.
It wasn't Blacephalon versus Garchomp. It was Garchomp versus the world.
Melmetal tried to toxic the Garchomp, which it was on a sub. Like, if you could have done double Iron Bash, you would have gotten it. You would have got the win, Airfare. But what did you do? You choked it.
Understandably, I don't think he expected a substitute there, but still.
And yeah, Garchomp ended up sweeping the rest of the game and gave the win to TJ. Good win for TJ, but Airfare. When you double Iron Bash, you hit. Next,
when you just have one Pokemon left,
you
and
had
when
one
it's capable
job.
of being a setup sweeper, I think the best course of action is just to outright attack it. Don't
You had
give
one
it the
job.
opportunity.
Yeah. Next up, failures versus ABD. Pirouette brought Stall and ABD brought Rain. The tried and true classic format there. There was a big oopsie made at turn 5, I want to say, because no, turn 3, because Barraskewda ended up being switched thanks to Pelipper. And then Slowking just ended up sludge bombing it, and Barraskewda died before it really got to do anything.
Yep, it just died in one hit.
So yeah, Pirouette played around the Crawdon very greatly. He got the Toxic off. It was able to live a Swords Dance boosted Crab Hammer, and got off the Toxic to basically chip down the Crawdon. And yeah, Pyro had the control for the rest of the game. A very good display by Pirouette to beat ABD there. Yeah, very good display by Pirouette there. Next up, we had Dunox beating Oras Mega in a pretty predictable. Oh, also Pirouette finally getting a win in OU. Finally. Next up,
yeah, finally. Love that guy.
Yu Dunox versus Oras Mega. This one, this one I had a lot to say on. First off, Specs Prim nearly killed Slowbro Galar. Jesus. It was Specs Hydro Pump and nearly got the kill off of Slowbro Galar, but fortunately, just kind of won there. Slowbro Galar ended up becoming very essential, though, living through a crit Iron Head from Jirachi. Even at low, it was able to live and basically heal off any potential attack, and got the burn off of Jirachi, which able to kill the game. Oh no, kill the Jirachi, sorry. And it even killed Zarude, which lived the Darkest Lariat over. It kept living the Darkest Lariat and able to sludge bomb it for the kill. Rest of the game went exactly in Dunox's favor, even managing to power whip the Primarina at the end to seal the W, which was very nice. Next up, Theo versus Floss. I know I was pretty harsh to Floss around the first parts of this week because I wasn't really digging it. I wasn't really impressed with Floss and RU so far. This is the game that made me believe in Floss.
You believe in the Floss that believes in you.
So first up,
except I don't think he believes in you. So tough luck.
Tough luck. First turn of this game. Vileplume trapped the Steelix with the set that we've talked about for so much. That particular Vileplume set.
Vileplume?
Infestation, Leech Seed, Strength Sap, Synthesis.
Demon Vileplume. I don't know if that's the exact set, but it's close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, Drampa? I'm surprised Theo brought Drampa into RU. Okay, Drampa, you look good in NU. Are you though? Eh. It did though quite a bit though, taking hits from Vileplume and Registeel, and even managing to take out Flygon with Dragon Pulse before succumbing to the poison. Uh, Fortunately though, Floss was able to keep his mons in check and play around against Crobat and Milotic. Ended up with a Tyrantrum sweep by the end of it. So good win for Floss, and yeah, I can now safely say that Floss is good in RU. Not the best, certainly not, because hello, Arts 9 calls. But yeah, good for Floss on winning.
You said Tyrant there for a second, and I was gonna say you were complaining about Drampa, but if there was a Tyrant in RU, then something's wrong.
You know what? Somebody bring a Tyrant to RU just for that comment alone. Next up, oh boy. Why do I gotta talk about this match? This is the worst match of the.
Oh, it's this one.
Yeah.
It's your favorite, Mikoi.
God damn it.
Oh, you love this.
God damn it. Team Charm versus Banbadoro. Let's talk about this crapshoot, shall we? First up, Machamp had pretty much bad luck throughout this game. It got paralysis. It was guts. It was a guts Machamp, but it got paralysis in turn 2, and I think that started Charm's downward spiral. Machamp didn't.
Charm figured, hey, I'll get that guts boost without getting burned.
But no, it was also Focus Sash, which is interesting.
Wait, what?
Focus Sash Machamp.
Huh?
Yeah. Look in turn 5, you'll see the reveal from the knockoff Sirfetch'd.
You know what? It was brought by Charm, so I won't question it.
Okay, fair enough. There also Silvally, who was preparing to sweep, also got paralysis and was paralyzed twice. And then Rotom, and then it switched to Rotom. So bad there. The Rotom versus Executor, this Rotom versus Executor was just a mess of a turn. Nasty plot, okay. And then Charm went for Thunderbolt, expecting a switch in. And so Mal was just free to flamethrower it and die it. Mess that one.
I don't know if he expected a switch in.
Probably going for Talonflame.
I don't know if he was actually trying anymore by that point.
He just gave, in his own words, he just gave up. The rest of the game doesn't matter. Both just played really clunkily. This was a really bad game from both sides. Mal didn't look too good from the win. Charm didn't look good from the loss. It was just a bad day all around.
Everyone has their bad days.
Yeah. Next up, Blimax versus iNasty. This one, I think Blim had this one in the bag from the moment it stepped foot in the ring. Well, so first off, we got Blimax playing around with his Eldegoss, well, allowing it to be tricked with Specs. As you can see, Specs for Bombi, I think, came into play, which was neat. And then only to have sent
Wait, again?
Yeah, you got another Specs for Bombi coming back again with a vengeance.
Wow. 2 in 1 week.
Oh no, sorry, what's Jellicent? Bleh. No, it was Jellicent who tricked the Eldegoss, not Rabambi. Rabambi was on Blim's side. What am I talking about? Anyway, but yeah, allowing Centiskorch to knock off the Eldegoss with choice packs, that was neat. Scrafty definitely was the MVP of this game, and by that I mean Blim Scrafty, because it was able to, first of all, as you saw right there, it was able to poison jab the Whimsicott through sub, which was very nice. And then it just had a stall match with Togedemaru against iNasty's own Togedemaru, which Scrafty, after a couple of very tactical turns, finally had the position right, got the CC off, the close combat off, and kill. There was an unfortunate freeze by Archeops at the end, but Blim had already won the match by that point. So, yeah, Blim X won. Next up, another upset in LC, would you say? This was a damn good, and it was a damn good upset as well. Beedov versus Frizzleweaver.
Oh.
Now, when you didn't watch the match, you probably think, "Come on, how the frick did Beedov beat Frizzleweaver?" When you actually watch the match, though, you won't be surprised at all. Because turn one, Frizzo let his Arkin get burned. I know it was neutralizing gas, but to get rid of Defeatist, but he let his Arkin get burned and then he went for substitute. What?
Yeah, might wanna go for substitute first, bro.
Yeah, though that was a bad first assault there. Um, there was a notable highlight in this match though that I think the Swampers got really excited of because I saw the reactions. There was a burn on Mianfu, but flame body, and of course a para thunderbolt on the coughing. But yeah, Abra, right?
That was on mid-up side.
Yeah. So Abra. So here's the thing, Abra, who Frizzo thought, okay, he's probably gonna psychic. I'm gonna switch to Carvana. Abra went for a focus punch and killed the Carvana.
Yep.
Very nicely done. And the rest of the game just went in Bidov's favor and got the win. So
that pony was a monster there.
Yeah, definitely. Bidov even avoided a potential sweep from Drillbur because he got the rapid spin off and tried to rock slide Porygon, who got flinched the first time, didn't get flinched the second time, and then attacked it to kill the Drillbur and kill the Ferroseed at the end. Very good.
I'm not sure. Well, that's because Brizzo went for another rock slide in an attempt to flinch it again.
Yeah. So he didn't flinch that time, and then it got the try attack off, and of course, and it froze the Ferroseed by the end. So yeah, very good display by Bidov in this in LC. Next up, Kesso versus Shadow Monster 7 in the penultimate match of the week. Um, penultimate both here and in the actual week itself because this was the second to last match that was played. Shadowbot sand offense, and Kesso brought normal psychic spam something. Cheese interestingly doubled down on the Tyranitar at the first parts of this turn, which was really interesting because Latios was there. I thought Lele would absolutely moonblasted this thing and let Landorus take out Tyranitar, or let something else take out Tyranitar. That just didn't happen. Also, Tyranitar carried Heavy Slam, which was good. So yeah, Shadow was able to kept in control for most of this game and ended up taking the win. Also, Entei carried Stomping Tantrum just to get rid of Heatran. Very fun.
I like how they have the same person in their custom avatar.
They brought back Drake.
Color scheme and Pokemon.
Yeah, they brought back Drake. So, yeah, good win for Shadow. And let's see what happens this week. Finally, SS Monotype, Lucas versus Poke. Interesting game, this one. It was, I believe it was, Dragon versus Ground. Dragalge.
Yeah.
Dragalge kind of surprised us because it revealed Gunk Shot. Interesting play there. Never really got to use because fighting a ground team. But, yeah, interesting reveal. Definitely the highlight of this game, though, was Kyurem because it was the lone killer. It killed everything in Lucas's team. Like Gastrodon, Landorus, Mamoswine, Excadrill, Crocodile, and Hippowdon. Everything died to Kyurem.
That's because it was Specs Kyurem, I think.
I think it was Specs Kyurem. And yeah, ultimately got the win. good for Pote. Good win. Pote's been very impressive in Monotype, so.
Lately, yeah.
I think it, again, might have been the PSPL thing. Anyway, that is the end of the recap for round 4, and taking a look, here's once again the standings as of currently, in because it is the middle of the weeks. Lapras is in the lead, then Snorlaxes, Jirachis, and Roserays. Those are the current top 4 at the moment. But I think the Milotics and the Swamperts can easily bounce back if they have good weeks ahead of them. Solgaleos, I'm not too confident that they'll make it. Dressrosa, Dracovichus, I think they're most likely out.
Probably.
So, let's predict week 5, shall we?
Yeah, that's what people actually want to hear. And I'm not even sure if they want to hear that, to be honest.
Honestly, I don't think so, but it's all for fun. Again, don't take this seriously. So, first up, we got the Ruin Valley Roserades, the number 4 team, versus the Sunny Shore Snorlaxes, the number 2 team. First off, 7992 versus Miminger in Ubers.
Ooh.
This should be fun. 7992 does have the better record between these two, being at 3-1, as opposed to Miminger's, who is 2-1. So this is a testament to both skills, and I think 7992 has the better record and the better sort of play. And like I said before, the strong defeat against Michael Der Best really catapulted 7992 as one of the best Ubers players in this pool. So I'm going with 7992.
I find it so ironic how you keep saying that when he lost 6-0.
Because it was a pretty strong. He took it to Michael Der Best that game, okay? 7992 to win this game. What about you, Poker?
He took it to him in that game by losing 6-0.
So who do you pick in Poker?
I him to drop a Mond, and you keep saying this.
Who are you picking?
My gut is saying Miminger.
Really? Alright. I would not be surprised if Miminger wins.
Me neither.
Next up, SSOU. This is definitely the meme match of the week. Balor versus Fragments.
Oh, boy.
I guess Balor based on better OU experience, but again, I won't be
probably Balor.
I won't be surprised though if Fragments wins, because Fragments has been known to cause upsets in the... Well, has he upset something in the past? I'm not sure, but he is pretty experienced in...
If you're not sure, then don't say that.
Okay, fine. But yeah, Balor to win this one. Next up, SSOU Halaman versus Zen. This isn't really too surprising. I think Zen has been doing better performances in OU as of late, so this should be... Sorry, Halaman. Sorry, Halagoat. Next up, SSUU. This one's a treat for us Tours boomers. Plas versus Eternal Snowman.
Does that make me a Tours boomer if this is a treat for me too?
Congratulations, Poker 2004. You are now a Tours boomer.
No. No, that's false. That's wrong.
No, that's wrong. Alright.
Counter.
Alright.
I object.
Alright. Who are we picking here?
Good question.
I think Plus is definitely... He has slowed down over the past recent weeks because he had to go up against ABD and Dugza and both lost those. But wins over Luthier and Shiba definitely put him at a higher position right now than ESM. Although ESM hasn't been slacking, even though he's 1 and 2. But yeah, I'm gonna say Plus on this one.
Okay. Wouldn't be surprised if ESM wins.
Yeah, but I think Plus is on a roll right now. Well, not on a negative roll right now, but I think he'll bounce back here. Kyotoshi versus Gorex in RU. Finally, we get to see Kyotoshi back in RU.
Yes.
And against Gorex, who is RU main. Okay. Kyotoshi, 1-3. 1-3 in OU. Yeesh. Should have never left RU, but.
Gorex is winless, isn't he?
1-2. He only won against Crucify.
Oh, right. Okay. He
We're
did
still
win once.
Comparatively speaking, Kyotoshi has always been the better player in RU, so let's go for Kyotoshi.
Yeah, that wasn't actually a question.
That's a spoiler. SSNU, Anarchist versus GW. This one's a treat. I think both players are exceptionally good at NU.
Oh, but who's better here?
I'm thinking Anarchist. Like the betting man in me says Anarchist should win, and yeah.
I don't feel like that's a real betting man move of you.
Really? You think GW should win?
And no, I mean like you're going for the safe pick.
I mean, the betting man. Well, sometimes being a betting man, you just gotta play it safe. And Anarchist being 4-0 right now, as opposed to GW, who is 3-1 right now. So a good record for GW. I won't be surprised if GW wins. But Anarchist.
I might be a little surprised.
But I think Anarchist, truly the best NU player of this pool right now, should win this one.
Yeah, that's just because he hasn't faced Zeri yet.
Watch. SSPU, Lady Rider versus Ninja. Lady Rider's been in an absolute roll lately, 3-0 right now. Ninja starting to slow down, just like with Plus has been. So I'm thinking Lady Rider. I think Lady Rider has been impressive all throughout these past 3 weeks to be able to get my vote.
I don't want to predict against Ninja, but maybe the same?
Really? Okay. If Ninja wins, good. He's back to form. But if Lady Rider wins, then oh no, Ninja, what happened? So yeah, next up, SSLC, the best matchup in LC.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't get better than this.
LC number 1 and 2, Kither versus Taz. Oh, this is gonna be a hard one. Taz is currently 3-1, and I think Kither is as well. Yeah, they're both 3-1.
Eh?
Because
Did Kither lost?
to Excelsior, do you remember?
Oh, right.
So yeah, this should be fun. The betting man in me wants to say Kither.
Yes, now this is where you bet, because this could go
I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna take the risk on this one. I'm going Kither.
I will not pick. I will think about it.
Okay. SSDOU.
My gut is saying Taz, but I don't trust my gut all the time.
SSDOU, SMB versus Crunchman. Can you believe Crunchman actually has the better record between these two?
That infuriates me a little.
So, I think SMB should win. I think SMB should stop Crunchman's incredible winning streak.
Yes, please. It's already not good that SMB doesn't have the best record here, and that he's not the most expensive player of the DOU pool.
Can you believe
There
it?
are 2 injustices here.
Can you believe it? SMB treating as upper mid and not number 1? Alright. SMB should win this one, though.
Unfathomable.
SMB should win this one. SS Monotype! Casual.exe versus LCAP. So, how do we want to put this?
Well, LCAP is LCAP, so casual.exe should win.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking the exact same thing, word for word.
I mean, you just gotta prep right, and I think you're fine.
Yep. So casual, please destroy El Cap. Lavender Lapresses versus the Jubilife Jirachis. Not a good start to you guys this week, but we'll talk about that.
I know. I know.
We'll talk about
should
that.
Not have done that.
We'll talk about it when we'll talk about it. So let's move. Let's first do Aberforth versus Sheba in Ubers. Interesting to see Sheba here, but
I'm not quite sure why.
You know what? I
don't think he really plays the tier.
It's a good change of pace because Sheba is currently 0-3. So we gotta give the guy a break. And now let's transition to a tier that hopefully he'll manage to do well in Ubers. Unfortunately, he's going up against Uber's GOAT Aberforth.
Not Uber's GOAT, Uber's leader.
Uber's God.
Uber's God, even.
So Aberforth should win, no question there. SSOU, Spitfire Arcanine versus Starreal. Fun match, this one. Both veterans of the tours community scene. I think Spitfire has all the tools in the world to win. Unfortunately, he's going up against a tried and true main in Starreal. So this should be a tough one for DJ Illuminati. I'm gonna pick Starreal on this one. I won't be surprised if Spitfire wins because Spitfire can't. When he's at his best, it's absolutely goated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I believe in you, Spitfire.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I'll root for Spitfire this one. SSOU, My Java versus Star Master.
Oh, dear Jesus.
Yeah, Star Master should win. No, I have no funny one-liners for this one. Star Master has.
I need help.
So Star Master absolutely goated, should win this one. My Java has been doing okay, but yeah, he's gonna have to pull up a really whack team or just some really great plays in order to win.
He can do it. He can do it.
SSUU, Udon Girl versus Excelsior. Probably my sleeper hit for match of the week. I think both players are pretty even, I would say, in terms of UU skill.
I feel that is a slight understatement for Udon Girl.
So, I'm gonna pick Excelsior on this one. So,
what?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Udon Girl has been impressive. She's currently what 3-1 right now. Yeah, 3-1. Wins have Udon Girl has been impressive, but I feel like their wins come from creative sets, the Udon Girl way of sets. Meanwhile, Excelsior just plays normal UU and absolutely does it well. And I feel.
You think the creative sets don't beat the normal sets?
And I feel like, you know what, in the testament of what Udon Girl has been bringing, I might pick her, but that's the betting man's safe choice. I'm gonna take the risk and do Excelsior. If Udon Girl wins, I'll be surprised, and also not surprised.
You're gonna lose money on this bet.
We'll see about that. Next up, RU, the Franklin versus John Filch. This one should be fun. I think another sleeper hit is in the works, folks, because both players very good in RU. I think Arsenine should win though.
Yeah, there's a bit of a different definition when you say Arsenine is very good in RU and John Filch is very good in RU. There's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, Arsenine I think should win this one. Extending that already goated winning streak that he's been on. Next up, SSNU, Poker 2004 versus Phantom Mystics. Oh, finally! It took us 5 weeks, but we finally get to see Poker for the first time in BLT 9. After kind of
You're acting like that's a good thing.
Because yeah, it is. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Um, this should be fun. I think both know each other's very well to know what their styles is in terms of playing.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried.
So, I think I'm gonna go with Pokeyard on this one, but only slightly.
I appreciate the support. Care to explain why?
You have been known to be very goated in the past, and I keep telling you this every single time. When you're put under pressure, you are absolutely goated.
Yeah, you see, I don't really like that pressure, though.
I mean, it hasn't stopped you before, so why should it stop now? Next up, SSPU, Ziri versus Avarice. This should be a fun one. I know Ziri has been...
Seeing as what is going on in the PU chat, I agree it should be fun.
So, we know, of course, that Ziri is the lower tiers main, is NU main, but he absolutely can also play PU very well, and he's going up against a good player in Avarice right now. So, this should be a fun one. I'm gonna go with Ziri on this one, because I think the experience should carry over to PU in order to win.
Thank you.
Finally, finally I got to predict for Ziri, for once! Next up, LSLC, a match between two very good friends of mine, Surfy versus Raj.Shoot. Very close, this one.
I feel the same way.
Because both are known to be pretty dang good in LCs. Surfy has not played as much LC as Raj. Surfy may not be known as much as Raj in terms of LC, but he can still he can still be goated. Raj is, of course, Raj.Shoot, and he got the upset win over Taz. So, and he's been known to quite cause those in the past.
There's something you don't know, Miko.
What is it?
Raj is not real Surfy teen.
So, in that respects, I'm going to pick Surfy. Only slightly, but Surfy.
I did not expect this.
Yeah,
I
know Surfy. I know Surfy. I know Surfy can beat Raj. So, yeah, Surfy should win this one. DOU Actuarily versus Frixel. All right, how do we go about this?
It actually still says Jonas for me.
You may want to refresh on that. So, Actuarily versus Frixel. This boy. Can we get memes for these two teams? Like, can we actually get memes? Alright, so...
I can't guarantee that, no.
I'm gonna pick Actuarily on this, but I won't be surprised if Frixel wins.
Yeah, that's the good pick. That's the good pick.
Because Actuarily has been pretty dang consistent in DOU as of recently, whereas Frixel, this is first time participating, so I'm not really expecting much. And finally, we got...
I feel you're slightly underestimating Frixel then, considering he's actually a DOU main who can play it well.
Well,
Actuarily considers him solid.
Alright then. Take their words for granted. Finally, Esmano, Maki beat Maroon, ending that winning streak. We will talk about that game later. Well, later after this call, but also next week. Next up, Majestic Milotics versus the Solacion Solgaleos. The fifth place team? Yeah, fifth place team versus the seventh place team. I'm not really expecting much from this matchup, but there are some pretty good, good as in good for content. Just kidding. No, this may be a crucial week for both. So, I'm gonna see myself off. SS Ubers, TDR versus Velvet. Velvet's been goaded in PSPL recently in Ubers, so I see no choice but to pick Velvet on this one.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I don't get to see Velvet play much, but when she does do it pretty well.
So Shane Ubers, her main. SSOU, we got Spooky Z versus Airfare. This one shouldn't be close.
Really?
Spookies, easily.
Okay, but like, what's the word? Prime Airfare. No, not really. Best Airfare. Airfare at his best, yeah. That could be good. If Airfare is at his best versus Spooky Z, then that could be a good match right there.
You know what? I'm kind of surprised that Airfare actually has a 3-1 record right now.
Wait.
He does. Right? He does have a 3-1 record. What?
Right.
I wasn't expecting this. Spookies though is also 3. All right, Spookies. I'm still gonna go with Spookies on this one.
Isn't Spooky Z undefeated?
No, he lost to TDNT. We covered that game. Okay.
When?
Week 2.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. All right, so Spookies won.
Okay then, I thought he was undefeated, but all right.
All right, Spookies should win this one. Next up, SOU, we got Splorsh versus Sword Strike. Never really got to see Sword Strike play all that often.
This is the first time he's playing, I think.
Well, okay. You've faced him before in qualifiers, right? Is he good?
This guy is Flow of Laminar, right?
Yeah.
But then, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pick Splorsh on this one because I think Splorsh has got good experience now in terms of what singles tiers, and I think him carrying that experience all the way to hopefully carrying the Milotics into victory will send Splorsh winning this one. So I think Splorsh.
I'm somewhat favoring Sword Strike, but okay.
Alright. SSUU. We got Easy versus ABD. When is Easy gonna participate in OU? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going up against ABD, who is also pretty good in singles tiers as well. So I'm gonna go with ABD on this one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, maybe Easy will do OU if they have to do a tiebreaker at some point.
Yeah, maybe. Alright. Next up, we got Luthier.
NHL match?
Sure. We'll call it an NHL match. Luthier versus Floss. This one should be all right. I think both are in that rare. Both are pretty hype, but their performances are pretty like. I don't want to say middling, but they're meh.
Like well, above. They both got a solid player to face, so this should be fun.
Hopefully they don't disappoint me. Both of you. Luthier's got a 2-1 record, and Floss is 2-2. So.
Well, Mikoi, if it makes you feel any better, if I had to guess, this will probably be one of the best games of the week. Okay. Or it'll just be outright the worst. In between.
We'll see about that. I'm gonna go with Luthier on this one, simply because it's Luth.
Understandable. I could see it going either way.
Okay. SNU, we got Atrex Madara versus Ban Bedora. Now from 2 goated players to 2 the opposite.
2 kind of mid players.
Both haven't really impressed.
Actually, Atrex Madara ain't bad.
Really?
Underrated, I think.
Well, he hasn't shown how good he is so far in this tour as a whole. He's going up against.
I don't think he's been playing anything he mains.
What does he main?
Good question.
He's going up against Mal, who has been middling as of recently. We haven't really seen Mal all that often, but the match against Team Charm proved me otherwise. Who do we want to go here? I'm going to go with Mal, but only slightly. I could see Atrax winning.
Tough.
We'll see. Next up, SSPU, London versus Patek. This should be fun, actually. Both players are pretty goated in PU. They have had some really top-notch performances in the past, and now finally getting to face each other today. Very incredible. I'ma go with Patek on this one.
I will go with Patek as well.
Because more experience in PU, and I think generally has the better play between these two. LC time!
Experience-wise,
I don't know about that. Alright, next up.
I'm seeing about a 3-year gap between that.
Wow, alright. Well, stand corrected, I guess. London. Oh, no, sorry. LC. Tobias versus Frizzaweva. This should be interesting. Frizzaweva.
I said fun.
Frizzaweva hasn't really, delivered that one great performance yet. His performances have been good, but not outstandingly good. Same with Tobias. His performances have been decent, but not outstandingly decent. So.
What about his sets? Are those outstandingly decent?
They were alright. Frizzo in that exact same rarefied air as well. 2-1 for both, I believe. Yes, both are 2-1. I'm gonna go with Frizzo because it is the safe pick. Nothing really too.
Who did Heroic Tobias lose to?
He lost to Kither in week 1.
Oh, okay.
SSDOU, Michael Durbest versus Shadow Monster 7. Michael playing doubles. Interesting. Against the DOU main and Shadow Monster, who has exceeded expectations. This is a tough one to call, actually, because Michael is Michael and can easily pick up a tier and play well.
Yeah, but doubles is a bit of another mind game altogether sometimes.
So Michael's really got to practice. I'm gonna go with Shadow. I think maybe is that an upset? I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Shadow on this one.
No, that's understandable. Shadow has years of experience for doubles, so
actual years, yeah.
Yeah, he knows the mind games you gotta do in doubles.
So Michael really has to practice for that if he wants to win. Finally,
I really want to catch that live.
Me too.
I want to see what happens.
Me too. Excello versus Pote. I don't think this should be any close at all. I think Pote has been very impressive in Monotype as of lately, and I think he'll continue that momentum. Alright. Finally, final matchup. We got the Santaloon Swamperts versus the Dressrosa Dracovishes. Interesting. Hey,
hold on a second.
What?
My cat.
Oh. Hello, kitty. Alright. As Poker tends to her kitty, let's cover the rest of the game, shall we? So let's talk about the final one, shall we? First off, SS Ubers, we got FC versus Crucify. I don't think there's any contest, honestly. I think FC should win.
Yeah, same.
SSOU, Failures versus Leroux. This one should be fun. Failures finally got a win. 1-3 right now. Yeah, against Leroux, who is 2-1. So interesting to see Leroux back after missing a week, and now how do I want to put this? Who do you want to? Okay, who do you pick? Pokeyard.
Um, Probably Leroux.
Okay, I could see that. I'm rooting for Pirouette, but I think I'm gonna go with the safe man in me and go Leroux. TJ versus
No betting man, huh?
no betting man this time. TJ versus Clean. I think this will truly be my betting man moment here. I'm gonna go with TJ on this one. Not just because I'm biased, but I do think TJ is generally the better player of the two. 2-2 versus another 2-2.
I think TJ is better here as well. Although I could see Clean winning.
Yeah, I think people are gonna predict Clean over TJ, but I'm thinking TJ to win this one. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe. SSUU, another great highlight match in the making. We have here Dunox versus Dugza. Two very goated UU players finally getting to meet 1-on-1.
Are they both like 3-1?
Dugza is 3-1. Dunox is also 3-1. Yeah, they also coincidentally they both lost the same week, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, this one should be fun. I think the safe pick says Dugza. The safe pick says Dugza. I'm gonna go with my betting man. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna go with Dunox.
Oh.
And yes, that is totally with bias. All right.
Oh, yeah, you're a swamper man.
SSRU Theo versus Revenge Killer. This is the toughest test for Theo yet because going up against Revenge Killer is definitely a really, really big one. And I think.
Did you just call this the toughest test for Theo yet when he's faced Arsenine?
Oh, he has? I forgot about that.
Decoy.
Frick. Okay. Well, he has also beaten John Filch in week 1, so never mind. The third biggest test. Wow. But yeah, Revenge Killer is good. Like, really good. And I would pick him, but let's go Theo. Alright. Next one we got Team Charm versus Pidgeot Mega. This one's gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna go with Team Charm on this one. I think, ignoring last week, Charm has the matchup in him to prove to be absolutely goated.
Yeah, I think Charm wins here too.
SSPU. Oh boy. For all us boomers.
Is this a highlight?
For all us boomers, it's a highlight. We got Blimax versus JXC.
Stop calling me a boomer because I think it's a highlight.
It is a highlight matchup. Alright. Okay, I'm surprised GXC has such a bad record this BLT. 1-3? Over Blimax's 2-1. This should be fun. Blimax is the safe pick because he has gotten that experience in PU, but GXC is GXC and can easily pick up this tier. I'm going to say Blimax.
I'm thinking GXE.
Alright. SSLC, Bidove versus Ace Hunter. You know, the safe pick. Let's go, Bidove! Bidove should win here.
That's a safe pick?
I mean, Ace Hunter is 0-4 right now, Pokeyard. Poor guy has been matched up.
Winner of LC Circuit versus B-Dove is not the safe pick.
I mean, Ace Hunter has had an unlucky BLT. Because the pool is too stacked for him to be able to get any placements here. So, yeah.
It's too full of players like B-Dove to get any wins.
Hey, big for Zoeva. please. In a good match too. Yeah, B-Dub should win here.
Oh god, I'm predicting Ace Hunter. I don't think I can bring myself to do that.
SSDLU Pikachup versus Zern.
Oh my god.
Poor
He's
Pete.
doing it. He's playing.
He is playing his first BLT and is going up against a fairly experienced doubles main.
Wait.
I think.
Really?
I think Zern. Well, hasn't he competed in a lot of doubles tours?
If so, that's news to me.
I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, but all honesty, he's like Zern easily. There's if Pikachup wins, it's probably due to hacks or bad matchup.
Look, I've seen Pikachup play doubles in qualifiers.
I have seen.
He's not terrible. He's not horrible. He can play it.
Just not as good.
He's just gonna need some prep here.
Big prep. Also hacks. And finally, SS Monotype, we got Failbur versus Kaguya. This